Somewhere between the 4th and 6th centuries, something extraordinary happened in the Indian subcontinent. A civilization reached a height that the world would not see equaled for centuries. Mathematicians in this empire invented the concept of zero, the single most important mathematical idea in human history, and the decimal number system that every calculator, every computer, every smartphone in the world still uses today. Surgeons here performed operations, including plastic surgery and cataract removal, that European medicine would not match until the 18th century. And at the center of all of it, an empire, the Gupta Empire, India's golden age. And then, within a generation, it collapsed. This is the story of how it rose, what it built, and what brought it down. By the early 4th century CE, the Indian subcontinent had fragmented into dozens of smaller kingdoms, each competing for territory, for resources, for prestige. Into this fragmented world, in the region of Magadha, modern Bihar, a family rose that would change everything. Chandragupta I came to power around 319 CE, a date so significant that the Guptas used it as the starting point of their own calendar. His first and most brilliant move was not military. It was matrimonial. He married Kumaradevi, a princess of the Lichavi clan, one of the most powerful and prestigious families in the Gangetic Plains. He was so proud of this alliance that he placed both himself and Kumaradevi on his gold coins, a king honoring his queen on his currency. Unusual for this era, he took the title Maharaja di Raja, great king of kings. His son Samudragupta inherited a strong kingdom. What he built from it became one of the most remarkable careers in Indian history. On a pillar at Allahabad, originally erected by Ashoka 5 centuries earlier, his court poet Harishina recorded his campaigns. He defeated kings in the north. He marched to the southern tip of the peninsula. He defeated southern rulers, then restored them to their thrones, not destroying, displaying power, and moving on. The Golden Age. Chandragupta II ruled from approximately 375 to 415 CE. He took the title Vikramaditya, son of prowess. A Chinese Buddhist monk named Faxian traveled to India during his reign. He described a prosperous, well-governed kingdom, where roads were safe, the people were well-fed, hospitals provided free treatment to the poor. This was not the description of a mythological utopia. It was the eyewitness account of a traveled, educated man who had seen much of the ancient world and was impressed. The poet Kalidasa wrote literature so refined that when European scholars first translated it in the 18th century, they could not believe it was ancient. The mathematician Aryabhata proposed that the Earth rotates on its own axis, calculated the value of pi to 4 decimal places, and correctly explained solar and lunar eclipses as the result of shadows. Not mythology, science. And then there is zero, the place value decimal number system, developed in India during and around the Gupta period. Every calculation you make on your phone, every line of computer code ever written, every equation in physics, chemistry, engineering rests on a number system developed here. The art and society. The Sarnath Buddha, carved during the Gupta period, is considered by many art historians to be the finest representation of the Buddha ever created. The Ajanta cave paintings show complex narrative scenes, subtle emotional expressions, and a mastery of perspective that rivals the best of Byzantine art. And then there is the Iron Pillar of Delhi, 7 meters tall, over 6,000 kilograms, erected during the Gupta period. In 1600 years, it has almost not rusted. Modern metallurgists have analyzed it. The forging technique produces a protective coating on the surface. That level of metallurgical knowledge was not matched in the West for over 1,000 years. But the picture of Gupta society is not only golden. The period also saw the strengthening of social hierarchies that would shape Indian society for centuries, and honest history must say so. The decline. After Chandragupta II, his son Kumaragupta maintained the empire. He founded the Nalanda institution, which would become one of the greatest centers of learning in the ancient world. It was under his son Skandagupta that the real crisis began. From the northwest, from Central Asia, came the Hunas. Chandragupta met them, and remarkably defeated them. But the cost was enormous. The wars drained the treasury. The threat did not end. It receded, regrouped, and returned. After Chandragupta's death around 467 CE, the empire entered a period of rapid decline. Provincial governors became independent. Feudatory kings stopped paying tribute. The territory of the central court shrank, generation by generation. By the early 6th century, the Gupta Empire as a unified political entity had effectively ceased to exist. The legacy. Empires end, legacies do not. The decimal number system and the concept of zero were transmitted to the Arab world by scholars who translated Sanskrit mathematical texts into Arabic. From Arabic, they entered medieval European mathematics. Within centuries, they had replaced Roman numerals entirely. Without them, the scientific revolution does not happen the way it did. The Industrial Revolution does not happen. The digital revolution does not happen. Chess. The game of chess was developed in Gupta-era India, called Chaturanga in Sanskrit, representing the 4 divisions of the ancient Indian army. Today it is played by 600 million people worldwide. The Gupta artistic tradition spread across Southeast Asia, to Cambodia, to Thailand, to Indonesia. The temples of Angkor Wat show the deep imprint of Gupta artistic forms. The conclusion. The Gupta Empire lasted in its full imperial form for roughly a century and a half. By the standards of history, that is not long. But in that century and a half, a small dynasty from the plains of Bihar produced mathematics that computers still use, literature that universities still teach, art that museums still display, games that 600 million people still play, and medical knowledge that surgeons still apply. They called their greatest king Vikramaditya, the son of prowess, sunset. But the light they generate, the light that travels outward at the speed of time, does not stop when the source does. The light of the Gupta Empire is still traveling. You are living inside it right now.